What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. I'm glad that all of you wonderful people could join me this evening, wherever you may be in the world. I'm glad that you are here. If you're not familiar with the Den is the best conversation on the entire internet. You can search high, low. You'll never find a better show. The reason why is because of each and every one of you wonderful people who make this conversation what it is. And so again, like I said, I thank you for being here. We'll see what we got joining us. We're going to have an interesting conversation. I got a few videos to show you. And if you don't know, I am your host, Ed Honcho. One, if you are in the chat, which you should be, if you're watching this and you're not in the chat, you're missing out on like 35% of the show. If you are in the chat, make sure you're in the live chat, not the top chat. Because, well, the top chat, well, it misses out on a lot of things, right? You want to get the full understanding of the conversation. 2, make sure you hit that like button. 3, if you haven't subscribed, well, I think you should wait a little bit. Figure out if this show is really for you or not. It's not for everybody, and I don't implore everyone to subscribe because we have a community here. This is not a channel, this is a community. And this community ain't for everybody. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm a firm believer in everything ain't for everybody. And this conversation may not be for you, but let's see what we got joining us and let's get into it. I see the lovely Miss Sarah Lou joining us this evening. 17, the protege. What's the motherfucking deal? Buck McCaffrey, good to see you, sir. You got an early morning ahead of you, I see. Infinity, the reform pimp. We reform pimps in the den. Make pimps into good people. That's what that's the kind of stuff we do here. Is there a doctor in the house? Dr. D. Kenobi reporting in. Savage Donald Trump. But was Donald Trump like savage already, like as is? So like, what is that, like over 9,000? I don't know. Benno, what's the motherfucking deal? John, my favorite New Yorker, what's the motherfucking deal? Lovely Miss Holly S., how are you doing this evening? Heidi, you are a black problem. The lovely Miss. So you got Miss in your name, right? So it's like, it just messes all, my Southern hospitality takes over and I throw an extra Miss in front of it. The lovely Mrs. Meat joining us this evening. Broderick is the kind of nigga who will steal your catalytic converter and sell it back to you. Word, you was missing one. I ain't even had no idea. Rise up. Good grief. Terrible person. Gerdoyle. What's the motherfucking deal? Isaiah 25. What's the motherfucking deal? And if I missed you, I promise I didn't deliberately diss you. So, every now and every couple of months, it seems like I have to have this conversation, right? And I guess I need to preface some things because what happens is, and I guess maybe I didn't word it as effectively as some of the other ones, because like I say, niggas, black folks, black Americans, we are lacking in some areas, and some of that, one of those areas is reading comprehension and understanding the premise of certain things. Anyway, so last time, well, I feel like we've had this conversation in between time, but one time I had a little video and it got kind of messed up. It said, why I don't identify as pro-black. And soon as niggas saw that, like I said, people unsubscribed in droves. Oh no, he doesn't identify as black. He must be one of those. For some reason, there has to be, it's an if, else if, or then, type of situation. But, so, let's talk about it, right? Anyway, the caveat when I talk about pro-black, I talk about the Tariq Nasheed types, I talk about the, what's his name, Dr. Umar types, this is true. The Dr. Umar types, those people who, in my opinion, profit off of pushing blackness, right? And there are some folks who do the exact opposite. There are some folks who are black and profit off of being as anti-black as possible, right? Now, if I said I was directly in the middle with those two things, I would be a little bit of a liar. I'd probably a little bit more to, I won't say the anti-black side, but I mean, if we were making a degree, it'd probably be like 60 40. But don't get me wrong, right? I love, I don't know, whatever y'all calling yourselves. You calling African American, Black, Ebony, Magazine, Jet Black, whatever. Because I do, right? And there's a part of me that will unfortunately have this level of concern. And so sometimes I try to push out an understanding to those because I see it from time to time in the stream. Someone will come in here and they will be riding along in the automobile of discussion, and all of a sudden they hear something they don't like and they jump out on the freeway, not realizing they're about to get their asses ran over. Anyway, you're probably, what the fuck are you talking about, Honcho? It's a bad analogy. I think it's a great analogy. Just listen up. But there's been times, and it seems like it's more of a particular segment of Black society than others. I think it seems like to be more Black women who get offended because I think they put something else into it just besides the Black part. And then, the gentlemen who are, lacking a little bit of foundational structure in the wrist, right? So, and so, no, this is definitely not Black excellence. I don't have a PhD, a player hater degree. I think there's a long way to go before we get to that, but I'll bring that up. I'll take notes of my thoughts on Black excellence. But anyway, and so I once thought along the lines of Tariq Nasheeds, the Umars, there's a couple other characters out there, and you tend to see from time to time lots of little cracks in the foundation, right? But my thing, it came to me one day, and I was just like, man, all this pro-Black talkity talk of this, that, and the third, but then you see people who are at the forefront of this movement can't even get along and have conversations with one another, right? It's a lot of pettiness. It's a lot of envy, jealousy, a lot of, like, say, nitpicking, a lot of undermining, right? A lot of insults, a lot of mudslinging. It's almost like politics. And I started to wonder, right? I'm like, well, fuck, these motherfuckers ain't come together. How the motherfuckers, regular motherfuckers gonna come together? And then I started thinking about the way I thought about things. And, I started thinking, I've told y'all the story 2,000 times about, what really started to change my perspective, and then what started to open my eyes and, made me realize that I had been lied to or misled, right, for a long time. And, the people I felt like misled me, it was other niggas, other Black folks. And then I started to think, well, were they really misleading? Were they really thinking this was, in their best interest, my best interest? Was it somebody who, told them that? And, I think there's a few factors that play into that. Like I said, I think women see things differently. I think people in the alphabet community see things differently. And I think men see things a completely different way, right? And then you're probably saying, well, men can have periods, Honcho, and men are this and all. You know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say what I say, right? Heidi, you're a terrible person. But what is happening is, now you see it more and more, is under the guise of equity, we are embarrassing ourselves, right? We're selling ourselves short. Heidi mentioned something about Black excellence. But I don't think that you can talk about Black excellence and then also be in support of some of these, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a bill, but some of these ideas that have been put out, especially in some of these schools, some of these school districts around the country, as far as getting rid of higher level classes. Because why? Because most Black Americans are not in those classes. I talk about a thing that I don't have many regrets in life, right? And, if you say you don't have any regrets, I guess it would be lying. I used to say that. But the one regret I do have is, like I said, going up through most of my school career, I was in advanced classes, right? Gifted and talented, AP, whatever you want to call it. And it got to a point where I felt like I was missing out on something because there were no Black folks in the class. We had a discussion one day. It was a Black teacher, and we were discussing race and a bunch of shit. And again, I still thought a particular kind of way at this time. And, I basically had to be the representation of the black community in that class, right? Didn't ask to do that. I didn't really give a shit about it. But I look at what I thought back then and what I think now, it would be much different, right? I may have been more aligned with some of the thought processes of some of the kids in that class now than I was then. Because I felt like I was always told, white man got their foot on your neck, got this, that, and the third going on. And it could be simply the times, right? Because there was a point in time in American history where things were not so fair. But I don't think you can always live in the past. The same way I talk about living in the past with slavery. I don't think you can live in the past of Jim Crow. And I think what people are doing, black people as folks are doing, are carrying these burdens. But I think there's a group, especially now, that is perpetuating that thought, that is definitely pushing that. But I don't think they have our best interest in mind, right? And I often talk about white liberals, right? Who push this crazy rhetoric. But again, you have, what do they call them, the useful idiots, who put themselves out as the representation of the black community, right? And you got the Van Jones of the world. We mention them all the time. The Don Lemons. They try to promote Jesse Smollett. He had to fabricate things. But anyway, like I said, if you open your eyes and you remove all the emotions, you see that things are not the way they say they are. If you go outside, get off the internet, depending on where you may be, speak with your neighbors, go out into society, depending where you are, talk with people, interact with people, without prejudging them first, you will see that there is a difference, right? There is a difference. But even in 10th grade, the stuff was easy. It was all easy stuff. Like I said, all I cared about was I got pushed into my mind that I was missing out on this black thing, right? Because it was never about the difficulty of the class. It was never a thing. It was just that I'm the only black kid in these classes. Like, why is it just me, right? And I felt like I was missing out on something. Again, bad decision. So anyway, you go out into society, you actually speak with people, you actually interact with people. And instead of deciding what their thoughts are, and you make this up in your mind because you've been looking at life through this filter, you've been looking at life through this lens, you actually talk with people. And the more I started doing that, the more I started interacting with the people who supposedly were racist and were oppressing me and, all these things I started to see differently. Now, either all the white people in the world, they're the greatest liars ever, and some niggas will sit there and tell you that. Some niggas will sit there and say, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. They're all lying. They're all terrible. But then we'll tell you on the flip side, that all niggas want, all black folks want is just to come together and be left alone. That is absolutely not true. And we see that, right? And so what happens is people come in here and they say, well, you just talk bad about black folks. I don't just talk bad about black folks, but I do point out the things that a lot of people either won't say or feel like if they say it, that somebody will give them some type of pushback or flack. Or, the things that they say dishonestly or they cover up in the media. Like if you look at Waukesha, right? You know what I'm saying? Tardy slips, absentees. I'm not even getting to that. I already told y'all what I had to do to graduate. But like I said, you're led to believe this shit. And that's why I tell, some of the young folks who come in there, like, get out the African-American section of the library. Stop looking up the fiction books. Stop looking at the entertainers. Stop looking at, the people who are super mainstream. Because that is the worst thing that's happening. Because like I say, black folks watch more TV than anybody. They are entertained more than anybody. And when you are entertaining yourself more than you are progressing, you're going to move backwards, right? That is the bottom of the totem pole. You cannot advance to the top without making the necessary changes, right? And if you do that as a society because people told you, well, the reason you're not succeeding in the greatest country on earth is because slavery. And trust me, I used to think that we were held back because it's like, but then you have to be honest with yourself. You have to look to your left, you have to look to your right, and you're gonna say, well, if that's the case, why are these people doing so much better? They look just like me. And I've talked about the statistics 1,000 times. You talk about a West Indian, Virgin Islands, whatever else you want to fucking call it. You talk about a real African who probably came over on a plane and not a boat. And you compare him to a Black American. The Black American will be in third place. Why is that? Because on the outside looking in, the almighty, magical, oppressing white man sees the same skin tone, right? Is it that when he speaks, oh, he has an accent, so he's not like them. He's okay. We're going to give him bonus points for having an accent. Is that it? Or is it something internal? Maybe it's not what's on the outside. Maybe it's what's been instilled on them on the inside, right? I was trying to be remotely, so I was going to make a real bad joke. I'm just going to sip my tea and laugh inside my own head. And so, but now we're in this day and age, and I guess it makes me sick because I see it more and more, and I guess that's what makes me think about it, a little bit more than I'd like to, is that everybody's pushing, the diversity and all that. And I think the diversity is more for the alphabets than it is for anything else. You're forcing diversity. When you force diversity, it's always going to fail because you're not looking for the best of the best. You're looking for anybody who fits a small narrative, right? Or fits a description. They fit the description. It's almost like with the police, right? Niggas complain about, they pulled me over because they said I fit a description and let me go. Well, I got a lot of niggas who are happy to fit a description, lacking the qualifications, and we'll praise them, a la Kamala, whatever the fuck she wants to be. First Asian, Black, transforming, magical entity in America, whatever she is. No real qualifications, but she fits the narrative, she fits the description, and so they put her in these places, right? I used to think people who said, affirmative action was a terrible thing. Oh, they got to be racist. They got to be racist. They don't want to see Black people succeed. But when you look at the underlying thoughts and when you really break this shit down and you really look at it, you see why people feel the way they do. It's not about necessarily taking away opportunities for others, but it is about putting the best man for the job. And people say, well, they're just going to put their friends in. Again, you can ask a nigga 1,000 times. There's so many excuses. But we live in a day and age where we're overrun with diversity, where there is no racism. People have to fabricate it. And I'm not going to say there is none. You go in the backwoods, I'm sure in Texas or Georgia or anywhere in the country where it's not as developed. You're probably going to have people who feel a certain way, probably more ignorant. And, racism is a form of ignorance. And just a lot of ignorance in this country. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's gone. But the way that people are making it up and the way that people are crying about it, it's not getting lynched in the middle of the mall and everybody sitting down, throwing down blankets and eating fucking chicken salad sandwiches and shit. But the real shit is the shit that motherfuckers are doing to themselves. And again, to me, it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of cowardice. It's a sign of fraudulence. It's misleading because it's making Blacks as a whole weaker and weaker and weaker. Because we're crying out, and this is the shit out we're there, crying out for something what I don't understand, which is this. This is the one thing I don't understand, I don't comprehend, because you can talk reparations, you can talk about rights, you can talk about whatever. On one hand, you'll say that these people are the devil, they're oppressing you, that they're out to undermine everything that you're going on. Have there been times in history where some acts have taken? Absolutely, right? But it is not that prevalent today because motherfuckers, we're signed up to do it to ourselves. But then, on the flip side, you'll expect this same person you call the devil, evil, manipulating, contemplating, whatever the fuck you want to call it, saying that they're doing to you. You expect them to give you something. And you really believe it's going to happen. Like, just that alone is where I lose it. Like you lost me. And there's a couple other things that are going on. I want to talk about the Virgil Abloh guy real quick, right? And I'm not super familiar with him. Don't know really what Off-White is. I just thought that was like something you painted your walls. But this is black excellence, right? Virgil Abloh. If you ask any nigga, that's black excellence. Why? Because he created stuff for other brands, what Louis Vuitton, I guess Nike or whatever. I don't really know what all brands that he did. Like I don't know what all people he associated with, right? But that's black excellence because he did things for companies that were not black owned. Same niggas will love and praise and worship. Oh, you know, salute. They will turn around and tell you, oh, we're getting depressed, we're getting beat down, we need to do this, come together, all this other shit, right? That'll be Nike a few more. Okay. If Virgil Abloh would have just been a dude who started his own brand and not getting on with these other companies or whatever, y'all niggas would not have given a fuck about this man dying today, right? Not two shits. Because again, what's crazy is, was said, I want to say, I believe Devontae might have said it the other day, and I'm sure Dan has said it in a couple of calls, a lot of these pro-black, wokety woke people who sit there, hey, no, I hate the white man, I hate this, really want white folks' attention, right? They'll call, as you see, King Coon. They'll call guys like me Coon and all this stuff for pointing this thing out, right? They'll, you know, I'm a coon or I'm a self-hater or any of these things. No, I'm very self-aware, right? Maybe not time-aware, right? I can't help it. It's because I'm black. But self-aware, absolutely. And again, because what they'll do is we'll hold other people, we'll hold other groups to the fire, we'll blame them for this, that, and the third. But then when you turn that mirror around, or it's your turn, there's too many excuses, right? And it's just like, I don't understand the excuses. I don't understand the double standards. I don't understand, you know, the mentality, you know, is good for me, but not for thee. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. And what happens is you got so many people who want to say, well, you know, they had their run. It's our turn. If you're waiting on your turn, we were talking about this in the Discord the other day. If you're waiting on your turn, you're waiting for somebody to give you your turn, even though it's so weird because it almost seems like the shit is happening. But if you're waiting for somebody to give you your turn, you're going to be waiting forever in a casket. So nobody's giving anything up willingly, right? Nobody gives up power willingly. You're going to take that shit by force. You're going to have to fight for something. If you want to have something, you're going to have to fight for something. But you got people, it's our turn. That's not how the world rotates. It doesn't go like that. Or you have people who are holding, when you play the game, you know, the sins of the father. Well, way back in the day, you know, they did this, that, and again, fucked up situation. That's the way the world worked back then. Everybody at some point in time was under the thumb of someone else, even groups who looked alike. You could almost say, we talk about oppression, you could almost say more recently in Africa. What was it? The Tutsi and the Hutu, which is a little while back, a couple of decades back. But what was it? Because your nose was too wide? We talk about white people. They talk about our noses and the watermelons and all that. Niggas was really killing niggas for having wide noses and shit. In Africa, right? All this limp-wristed activity that goes on here in America. Well, let's go back to Africa. Go try that in Africa and see what they do with you. They ran Obama ass out of there trying to talk about that goofy shit. You know, there may be parts where it may be more accepted in the wilderness by yourself, but motherfuckers not rocking like that. And I'm not sitting here saying that Africa's the worst place on earth. It has several flaws. It has some good stuff going for it. I think if you're in a good position, you could make it work. Like I say, shout out. We have a den folk now who has moved to Africa, and they look like they're having a good old time. So salute to them. I still won't tell y'all who. But again, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It's always going to be somebody viewed as lesser than. We live in a country where no longer there are laws on the books. We can talk about 13th Amendment, or what was it? Was it 13th? You can still be a slave, something like that. It was 13th or 14th. I can't remember. I don't remember all the if you commit a crime and you're still a, well, I guess you could not commit the crimes, right? I put two people on the picture, and I'm finna get off here. I'm finna speak on some things. I'm gonna open up the line here in just a second. I put two people on the picture, the thumbnail. One is a guy running away from the store looting, and I put the check mark on that. And one is a black police officer, and I put the X-nay on that. Last time I did, who was it? NBA Youngboy, just to represent a rapper. I put a well-known face on there. Put the thumbs up on that. This time it was, and it was Kevin Samuels then, older gentleman in a suit who's saying, hey, you know, families matter, things like that. You know, that's his message, right? And people say, well, he ain't got his old lady out. It's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the message that people put out, right? In our community as black folks, you will get more credit, more props, fucking successfully looting a store than you would being a black cop preventing somebody from doing so, than you would being a black cop who successfully completed the academy, right? You'd get more credit. No, I'm sorry. You're held to a higher standard. You're held to, and again, as you should be, you know, in law enforcement. Being, you know, saving somebody who was about to end the life of somebody else, and maybe you had to take them out, than the person who was doing such a deed. Will make excuses. Well, whatever. It just is what it is. That's the answer that kills me. It just is what it is. No, it's not. It ain't just is what it is. Because we've seen 1,000 times, you know, the mentality of the people who end up on the other side of the gun, right? Talk about, oh, you're going to start talking about black on black. I'm talking about crime. I'm talking about who's the biggest victim of the crime. If black folks are doing more damage than anybody, right? What communities are they doing it in? Who's getting hurt by this, right? That's where the real oppression is. If you live amongst domestic terrorists, who's going to be the fucking victim? Appreciate the love, Kenneth. Thank you, sir. Yeah. My bad, I didn't have the audio thing. I'll see if I can replay that alert. I think I got a button around here somewhere. Okay. Yes, let me redo that so it can be heard.
Keep speaking that truth, OG. You've helped me level up throughout the years. Fire, fire.
And the way I look at things, right? And I talked to the gentleman Devontae, and I was just saying, you know, if I could just prevent people from, you know, making dumb mistakes, especially younger dudes making some of the stupid mistakes that I made in my life. Take a kid like Kenneth, right? Take a kid like Kenneth, right? I have no relation to Kenneth. Kenneth's been in the den for a long time. Kenneth used to come in there and saying some of the craziest stuff. And I truly hope some of the things that not just me, a lot of us have told him have really soaked in. Kenneth goes on to live a happy, successful life. I feel validated. That's all it would take. For me, I would feel validated in the entire existence of the den and anything. If just one person walks away feeling like they benefited, or maybe it gave them just a little bit of a directional shift, I feel validated in everything. Gary is very proud. But with that being said, I was going to talk about the terms king and queen. We'll say that for another day. Because I know I saw a guy and he was having an argument with that dude, I think from Fox News, the real weird looking dude from Fox News, the black guy. There was two, never identified who the other one was. But he's talking about, that's why I use terms like king and queen. I hate the term king and queen in any form or fashion. Yes, from the We Was Kings, from the Black Queen and all, like, you calling a broad with her ass hanging out, titties falling out, got some crazy shit going on in her head, looking just detrimental. She's a queen. You are reinforcing negativity, even though you intend to try to say, oh, I'm uplifting and you're reinforcing negative behavior, because what you're doing is you're attributing some form of credit to something that is despicable, right? You'll never hear me say that. You'll never, ever, ever hear me say that shit. And it's wild. Oh man. Ouchie, ouchie. What did they say? What, 2022, the new one's coming? Speaking of Black Africa, South Africans. And it's crazy how they it was funny because Africa was doing so well. Scientists were amazed why Africa was doing so well. And then all of a sudden now there's some type of South African variant, which even the person who discovered it, I think I shared it in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, man, I implore you guys to be in the Discord because we talk about a lot of things there that we can't necessarily get on, or that, just whatever comes to mind, and we get to talk about them in a group discussion. I'll put the link up in a second. The Discord is free. Don't listen to Heidi. She's a hater. And like I said, we talk about a lot of things, and we talk about the jab and what's going on with that. But I posted a video of the actual lady who discovered it, the new variant. And she talked about how it wasn't that big of a deal, But, again, these variants, I'll leave it at that, because YouTube is over here pushing false information, channel ban. But anyway, so give me a second. Let me open up the line. Let me boot up what is this? What? Oh, that's what that is. I gotta clear up my thumbnail toolbar. So I got like this new addiction. Well, I won't say new addiction, but I moved on from that's super funny. That is super funny. And Tenny posted it. I actually ended up watching it earlier.
Sound like some old Thomas Sowell King. Raccoon, talk to me.
Sal, the goat. Most unappreciated. You can't even push that to niggas. He's King Coon. Just the subject. But appreciate the love, Savage Donald Trump. But here's the thing, right? Like I said, you speak on that, and you say these kind of things as a black man, I would get ostracized. I have been ostracized from black men. They've taken my black card. But when you lose a black card, your credit goes up. So there's that. The link, that's what I'm looking for. But like I said, there's so much wild shit going on in this world. No, that's not the right link. That I don't think that you have to associate yourself by race, by party, by any of that, because this is what I believe the Den should stand for. I believe everybody should be entitled to believe whatever they choose to believe. But I also believe that people should have the freedom to have these discussions in a civil manner. And we've gotten away from civility, and that's a problem in society as a whole. And that's why I like the Den, because even here or in the on the Discord, we can have discuss. They're not always, no, let me stop. They're not always civil. They're not always civil. We've had a few recently get a little while, but the fact that we can have these talks, that we can allow one another to have their various point of views and have these discussions, right? So there is that. Kenneth is not bigger than Gary. But still salute to young Ken. Is it really, Broderick? Because here's my thing. Like, is the South Park post-pandemic special, it's just an hour, right? And it's only one episode. So is that like the prequel to the season? Because I watched it yesterday. And it was cool. I enjoyed it. But then I'm like, this is where it ends? This is where it ends right now? Right? So it's like right when it was getting good, right when it got to the point of getting good, it ended, right? But I will I will be going back and watch some old South Park episodes just because it got me in the mood. It got me in the mood to watch some more South Park. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And it's funny because, like I said, that episode that Penny just shared, it was a conversation of Ava and Preach, and they were just talking about how, growing up young, they used to be in there fighting skinheads. But now the people that give them the problems are the liberals, right? And that's the truth. The people who do the most oppressing, the people who are classifying, identifying by group, race, sexuality, all that stuff, it's not conservative individuals. It's not even libertarians, right? Libertarians are like, fuck it, do whatever the fuck you want to. I think we need to put a little bit of restraint on that. But the thing is, really, this what the fuck you gonna do? Hold on, let me. This way, I'm pushing all kind of. I got it all crazy. Damn it. See, I closed out that fucking thing and then it did this weird shit. Anyway, you know how we do it. Let me quit this. Let me exit out all. I got a whole bunch of shit up. I got a whole bunch of unnecessary shit up. I don't even be realizing shit. Has this been open the whole time? It absolutely has. All right, put the number on the screen, and I guess I gotta log in. That helps. And we will get some calls in. Again, I hope all of you are doing well. Hope everybody's ready to get back to normal after a shit just cut back on random. I hope everybody's ready to get back to normal after a Thanksgiving weekend, whatever. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And let's talk about it. So the number 832-694-1337, 832-694-1337. Like I said, again, what appeared to be is not always what it is, right? And as you grow up, you start to realize those things. I try often to instill that in the little one. I got something. I think I'll say that for the I'll say that for the after part of the Discord after the stream, and then I will show y'all some stuff. All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Oh, come on. You know who it is?
I have no idea. Oh, I know. I do. But the people don't know. It's a surprise. This is for the people. Who we got calling in this evening?
Well, today, everybody, you have the privilege of speaking with Donald Trump.
They would definitely shut the channel down if they're Trump. They'd ban all the videos. They'd ruin everything. Trump on social media. How dare you?
Well, they took me off because they thought that I was promoting like some type of genocide and terrible things for the democracy, apparently, of the United States. But they are mistaken because they have no idea what is necessary for this country.
So, in your opinion, what is necessary for this country?
Well, everybody has to just learn everything that goes woke turns to shit.
Why do you think that is? Why does that seem to be the outcome of everything that everybody's waking up, getting woke up, and things that seems like shit tends to derail when they do?
Well, Honcho, the real problem is that everybody doesn't realize everything that I pushed while I was in office was the way that the country needed to flow. And now they're seeing it with Sleepy Joe on the total opposite of what I was going for.
So you felt like it should have been America first instead of intersectionality first.
Well, of course, it should have been America first. It should always be America first. These people don't understand. If you build a wall really high and make sure that it's like the most beautiful wall the world has ever seen, then you won't have any problems. But anyway, brother, how's it going?
This is going well. This is going well, Mr. Buck. How's life treating you?
Well, life's treating me, brother. How you doing?
Okay, can't complain. Same on this side. Say you out of town working early in the morning?
Yeah, I got to get up early in the morning and go run all this stuff and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Make the solar panel keep running.
Okay. Going green. Um, so like just
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I really hate it. I hate working for this and everything. But that's where the economy's taking it right now, man. It is where it is.
I understand. We all gotta adapt. Unfortunately, it's just gotta survive.
Yeah,
Survival is the
man.
first thing.
I got 4 kids, man. I gotta pay. I gotta pay my child support, and then I gotta pay for the ones that are living in my house, and everything. So it's a package deal with a marriage, and you gotta deal with the woman that came around first, and you know when you're a man, and when you're a father, you gotta handle what you gotta handle, and you gotta take care of what you gotta take care of. So it is what it is.
Absolutely. So ever since well, even when Donald was in, we start seeing really this really woke movement kind of starting to progress. And it's not a new thing, but it seems to have picked up a lot of momentum recently. What are your thoughts on this and the direction things are going?
Oh, it's gotten outrageous. It wasn't like shit. Ever since Biden jumped his butt in the White House, it's just gotten outrageous. Everything's gotten ridiculous, and all the most left leaning Democrats and everything have pushed him into terrible a terrible route and everything, because everybody was portraying him as some kind of moderate Democrat, and everything is supposed to bring, like, normality back to the United States or whatever. And that's absolutely not the case. It's gotten ridiculous. And that's all the different stuff that's being now pushed and everything is and just outrageously to the left. And this country and it's really hurting from it. It really is.
What I also find kind of weird is stuff that even those people who seem to be uh, more moderate or were considered moderate at one point in time are now considered right, or they're called them far right. Some people, if you're not the way things are going now, if you're not 100% on board with some of these off the wall ideologies, people accuse you of the most outrageous things. Um, like I said, but with everything that's going on, what do you think is the worst of it? Or what policy do you
The
think that maybe has
worst.
been pushed through or that he's supporting or ideally supporting that is causing us the most turmoil in America?
Um, well, I would hate to say it, but honestly, I would have to say, like, maybe here's a very recent thing. The Black Lives Matter movement
Mhm,
and Antifa
mhm,
and everything. Purely I mean, I'm just saying, like, that, everybody can get behind the movement of Black Lives Matter. Of course,
mhm,
Black Lives Matter.
mhm,
All lives matter.
mhm,
You know, everybody in America matters. This is America. The United States of America, the whole 9 yards.
mhm,
And I don't care. I mean, this is an entire country formed on immigrants.
mhm,
Doesn't matter if they're black, white, Hispanic, Irish, Russian, whatever. You know, white encompasses a massive amount
mhm.
of stuff, and lots of countries of immigrants. So when that all boils down to it, you know, we we really should be all on the same path as far as that's concerned. But like, ever since Rittenhouse was acquitted. People are, outraged. This white guy, was, let off. But what if he was black? Well, if he was black, everybody that believes in the Second Amendment would have hope for the exact same outcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And, we all here believe in America and all the amendments of America, all the Constitution of America. But then a whole bunch of people twist it and say, like, well, what if it was this? What if it was that? Well, there's no what ifs and everything. The Constitution is what it is. And America was founded on a set of ideals. And it was founded on, primarily that. I mean, we got the notion that every man is created equal from Jefferson, and they're tearing down statues of him right now. And we all know that, he may have owned slaves and everything, but he was against it. Once he understood the humanity of it, and he said, hey, all men should be created equal, but he couldn't make that steps at that point in time. But we are tearing down his statues right now because what was he going to do? Become a martyr at that point in time and everything and just die for that at that point in time? You understand, everything has to take a certain gradual shift into a certain direction. And nobody realizes that, hey, this country right here in the world, in history, abolished slavery, and nobody took this country over to do it. We are the only country that has ever had a war with itself to abolish oppression of another race. Period. We're the only ones that have ever done it. No other country in the world has ever done that. We have abolished slavery faster than any other country in existence. Period. So I'll leave that at that.
Yeah, and I agree with what you said. Like I said, it was a process. Him as one man wouldn't have been able to get rid of it, if I'm not mistaken. Especially then, depending on who you were and what you were, if you had a little bit of affluence, slaves were passed down in wills like property. And there were certain clauses in certain folks' wills as to what you could and could not do with those slaves that may have existed. It may have been with the family before you were ever born.
That's right. Honcho, do you know the first slave owner in America, the United States of America, was black?
You're talking about Anthony Johnson, I believe was his name.
Yes. First one. See, they couldn't do anything about that at that point in time. It had to be a gradual thing and a gradual step into that form. And it doesn't matter, and everybody hates everybody that was around back then and everything because that was a cultural norm. And originally it was not a racist thing. It just happened through the trade that originated in Africa. And like one comedian said and everything, do you think that all these fat Europeans sailed down to Africa and picked up all these people and everything, all these thoroughbreds that run across Africa? No. Other thoroughbreds caught them and sold them to the white man.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But I've already forgot your original question because I've been drinking.
Oh, that's all good. Have a sip for me. No, like I said, I was just really inquiring, like, of everything that's been going on, because that I would agree with you, because the idea of, Black Lives Matter, again, I can give anybody should be able to get behind that, right? Anybody should be able to, yeah. Like
Anybody, anybody.
I don't think that's an issue, but I think when you really look into the,
Oh, whoa,
uh,
whoa, whoa, wait. That's except for all these Nazis that apparently exist all over the place.
oh, well, yeah, all the yes, they're everywhere. And you're a Nazi if you don't agree with some extreme progressive beliefs. You don't think men should be
Yeah,
able to use the
what's
bathroom?
what I tell
You're a
people when
just Nazi.
yeah, whenever I comment on all these CNN videos, and I'm like, where the hell are all these Nazis y'all are talking about? And they're like, oh, you must be looking at Fox News. I'm like, no, not really. I'm just curious where are all these people that you're talking about and everything. I mean, like, there must be like Hitler must have had like a slew of children that just ran all over the United States and everything. I'm just like, where are they? Because I haven't met any of them and everything. And I travel all over the United States when I go to
Just
work.
said no other country, so the
I mean,
Haitian
hell, I
Revolution was
meet
a
more people
figment of
from
their
Texas coming up
imagination.
north to work all the time and shit and everything, more than I meet any white individuals.
Yeah, and
So,
that's a good point. Shout out to sophisticated ignorance. Appreciate the super chat love. And yes, the Haitian Revolution is something that does not get enough attributes, enough credit. And I think people look at the condition things were left in afterwards, and it can be painted a certain way. But that's also a good point. But I agree with like with the Nazi thing, and like I said, some of these statements that get said, the hyperbole that gets pushed, oh, the Nazis or the police are gunning niggas down in the streets. Man, look, I'm not saying that every incident was justified. I will never say that, and I think that there are elements of police reform that could benefit everybody as a whole. But to sit here and say things like that and push messages like that, you do two things. One, to say you make the kids fearful and fearful and hateful because of the message that you push, and so they don't really have an understanding. You got kids saying young crazy things. They grow up to become, whatever, and have this disdain or distrust in the police until something goes down, and then you want them and need them, and then you see how people treat them. But also even with the message from like I said, with BLM, Black Lives Matter, like I said, the message sounds really good, but the organization itself, if you really go and see what they're about, what they said, Dan's mentioned multiple times, cultural Marxist. I got the video, I didn't show it, I don't think the other day, where they were sitting there saying, hey, what we need is a communist revolution. What does that have to do with, your current belief in racism here in America? You need a bar. What does communism have to do with that? Also, like I said, but if you read that they've changed it now, and this is like I say one of the things way back when that made me start seeing things in a different light. Their whole agenda was not for the black men that they promote, that they use the dead bodies of those black men that they promote. Say, oh well, this is why Black Lives Matter. They start talking about they had like these 10 rules or 10 things that they were trying to achieve. It was about abolishing the nuclear family. Well, a man's role in the family is to be a leader. That so what you're trying to do is abolish the role of the man that you're also using as your figurehead for your movement. Changing the idea of that, getting more rights for gay and lesbian. Like, I mean, it was all about more so gays, lesbians, and black women. And I'm not shitting on black women saying they don't deserve anything, but again, we've seen as black folks, we are majority led by households of black women, and I don't think that's benefiting us, right? And so, they're
you
pushing
are correct.
this rhetoric
You
that
are correct.
is not benefiting anybody. And so that's my whole beef with the whole BLM thing. And then people push it like when you say, "Hey, BLM is trash." Oh, well, you hate black people. No, I hate what they're about, and what they're about is not anything beneficial to black folks. You saw they got all these billions of dollars. Where did that money go? I ain't seen them build up a park. I ain't see them build a rec center. I haven't seen them fix the brakes on somebody's car. I haven't seen them do anything but buy themselves some fucking houses, right? And then
You are
resign.
correct. You are correct. They
So,
bought some houses in California and stuff wherever Patrice Cullors wanted to go ahead and put her stake down, with all the white people over there in California and all those really nice suburb areas and everything. But honestly, if you look at those houses and everything, they're like, if you live in Texas or somewhere else down south and everything, those are like what, $125,000 houses at max
Mm-hmm.
and everything, but it might have cost like $4 billion over there in California because everything's ridiculous over there.
Yeah.
But I'll probably exaggerate it a little bit. But
No,
anyways,
I don't think so. Because my old lady's originally from California. She's talking about her mom's house out there, and the biggest spot we got here in, right outside of
yeah,
Houston, really. And well, I think hers is worth close to $1 million, something like that. And it's our home is significantly larger, so
yeah,
it's crazy. It's
yeah, it's
crazy.
terrible. It's terrible. But no, they're pushing a really Marxist agenda, and it's absolutely it's terrible for the black community and everything because you had back in the '60s, and it was what 75% of the households and everything had the father in the home, and then as soon as the Democrat policies came into play, then all of a sudden a whole bunch of generation on generation on generation started depending on Big Daddy government and everything, and the man was no longer needed in the household. And say, hey, I don't need you anymore. I can have a child and everything, and the government's going to pay for it, and I can live on welfare, and it's not a problem. And those different women, pass it on to their daughters and everything, do generation through generation, and then you had, I mean, it was just terrible for the whole black community in whole and everything. So it doesn't matter if it was black, white, Indian, whatever. When you take the man out of the household and everything, and you take away a young man's, how would you say, like example to live in life and stuff, and you take away, their father figure, well, they're going to find a father figure, but it's going to be in the streets. And when they find that father figure in the streets and everything, that they may be 17, that dude may be 24, and he may have lived with his mother his entire life, and then he may have been in the street since he was like 14 or something, and selling drugs or whatever he needed to do to get by or to make a living because he wasn't ever taught the right way or he wasn't ever given a good example to live by. Well, then that same terrible example is just given over and given over and given over, and then they all run under that. Well, they don't have a better example of that, and then they're stuck with that, and then they have to run with that or try to find some other kind of way. And if there is no other way, then they're there, and that is the height of what they believe to excel in life. And once they get to that point, I mean, they're stuck there. They think they're at the pinnacle.
Yep.
And next thing you know, they're all in, half of them are in the penitentiary, and the rest of them are trying to figure out how to make it on the outside.
All right. Well, there's an easier way. Just, but like you said, when you don't have the information, when you don't have the right people leading you in the right direction, you're going to take what you know and try to make it work. And a lot of times that's a real lack of information.
Well, like for me, Honcho, I've got 2 stepchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 biological children. I pay child support and everything, and I have my children with me every other weekend, and then I have my stepchildren that live with me in my own household. So then I turn around and I also have a sister-in-law that has 5 sons, and they're, I think, 3 different men, maybe 4. I'm not 100% sure because that's really not my business. But all 5 of them are boys. All right, they're all young men. All right, now like one of them's like 25, the other one's like 22, and the other one's like 21, and stuff like that. And they have no father figure to run off of. They have no example or whatever. The only example they have is me.
Yep.
That's it. Their fathers are not around. They're gone. So I've taken on also that responsibility of teaching these young men that, hey, that's stupid. Leave that alone.
Yeah.
This is where you should go. This is what you don't need to bother with. This is what you should pursue. All these different things and stuff. And now, several of these young men, well, half of them, because some of them are still young, but the other one are actually men now. They are actually moving on with their lives, and they progress further than their actual fathers have in the past. And some of them are in jail now, in prison and stuff. But these young men are moving on with their lives, and they're actually moving on to get in their own spots. They're also moving on, and they're helping their mother and everything. They help out with the younger children and things of that nature and stuff and everything with good conservative values and stuff. And so that is the real goal that we should perceive and everything, because every child needs a father figure at least of some sort and everything, because the mother's going to be there and everything. America's guaranteed that and everything, unless the mother's like a severe crack addict and goes to prison or something, but beyond that, yes, every child, no matter what, needs a father.
I agree. It's better that you pick a good father and stick with him than him go try to find their own father somewhere, in a low place or whatever else it may be. And that's kind of, I think, part of the epidemic.
No matter what, I mean, my stepchildren and everything, their father's in Mexico, and I'm here, and I've been here since they were like, knee high to a duck and everything, and he hasn't been around. So they look to me and everything for advice and things of that nature. So whenever they actually talk to their father every once in a blue fucking moon on the phone, they talk to him and they're like, okay, well, that's cool. It's good to hear from you and whatnot and shit and everything. Well, Dad already told me about this, because you're not Dad, that's Dad. He's right there, He handles this shit here, and he makes the fucking decisions here. And we already know good and well from the past or whatever that decisions you made is not shit to be followed. But no matter what, all children need a father figure, and all children should have a conservative figure going on forward and everything, more right-leaning and stuff and everything, because it's just better for a person moving on. And this whole democratic movement and all this woke BS, that's a load of shit.
Yeah, I agree. Because it does nothing to benefit anybody. It does nothing to, when you try to pick and choose, like I say, you try to place people in positions for, again, like I say, merely existing or fitting the criteria, with no real acknowledgement of their qualifications, you're not benefiting anybody. You're not benefiting them because you put them in a position they didn't acquire, probably don't know how to handle. And then you're not benefiting anybody who has to be under their, leadership or a subordinate or whatever else it may be. And again, so if we're talking about a business, we're talking about a country or, political position, whatever it may be, everybody's losing because we're just only focusing on, the cosmic aspect of things, but things we can't control, things that were predetermined before we got here, or the few things that people, identify as. And then, there's something else. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. To hell with all that. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got one more question for you, Mr. Buck.
What's that?
You said you were having you a drink. What you drinking on?
Oh. Well, out here when I'm out of town and everything, I try to keep it simple and cheap.
Mm.
So when it comes down to what I like and everything, I'm American. So even though I'm Irish and Hispanic and everything, I like to go ahead and stick to American values. So I just go ahead and I get a simplistic bottle of just some wild turkey and everything, because as far as a bourbon, it's not too expensive. It's got plenty of notes to it and everything. It's got a good aftertaste. It's got a good sipping aspect to it and everything. Now, if you're wanting to get complex, that's really up to you and everything with what you like and everything. If you like cognac, you need to go ahead and go with Martell. Go ahead and skip out on the Hennessy and everything, because that's just overpriced and overrated. And then Remy Martin, if you like that and everything, go ahead and get the 1738. Now, if you like tequila, go ahead and run on with Correjo Añejo, and that's going to be in your red bottle, skinny. Now, if you like good bourbon, go ahead and hit you up a bottle of Henry McKenna Bottle and Bond 10-year if you can find it. If not, because that's good price on that one if you can find it. It's award winning. It's fantastic. As far as beyond that, everything, I guess as far as a really good bourbon, that's hard to find, like underpriced, so you're gonna have to go really good shit and everything, like Pappy Van Winkle, maybe like a 12-year. Don't bother with a 23-year. It's unnecessary. And then if you like Scotch, hit you up a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue Label. It's kind of pricey and everything, but it's fantastic. If you like whiskey, you can go simplistic and everything with a Jameson, and Jameson is pretty good stuff. Now, if you want to go really expensive, go Redbreast. And then let's see, what else? What did I miss out on? Brandy's crap. Don't go with any brandy. But as far as drinking, that's where I'd run to. And if all those are too harsh for you and everything, just mix them with some Red Bull and everything. Make them a bomb. They're good. Red Bull pretty much goes with everything.
Man, alcohol and energy drinks combined is a party.
It's a party. It's a party and everything. But Red Bull seems to go with just about everything. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you like, and if you want to, do the the music videos and stuff and everything with Ciroc or this and that and everything, you can pretty much mix all that shit with Red Bull. If you ain't want to drink nothing straight and everything, and you want something that goes down smooth, you can just pretty much mix it with Red Bull. Doesn't matter, vodka, effing, style, rain, Grey Goose, all those other little cheap ones and stuff and everything. Yeah, you can run that stuff and everything. You can do it with the whiskeys, you can do it with the bourbons, you can do it with the, as far as tequilas, tequila is tequila. It's pretty harsh. It doesn't really mix with shit. It's kind of like what Donald Trump said, everything woke turns to shit and everything. Yeah, when it comes to tequila, it's, when you're drinking tequila, you're drinking tequila to get smashed pretty much.
Yeah, tequila's, I've had a few bad evenings. Various tequilas.
If you want to do tequila and everything, as far as, as actual flavor and sipping on and everything and have conversation or something and everything, go with the Añejo. the one that's actually been sitting in the barrel for a few years. Don't go with silver. Don't go with the reposado. Go with the añejo. It's going to cost you like $3 or $4 per bottle. And if that's what you really want to do, go for that. That I can give you good advice on.
Okay. A little bit of salad. All right. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr.
Añejo. It's spelled Anejo.
Yes, it is. It is definitely. We've run the gambit in this conversation, but yeah, you can say I ain't drinking a while. I mean, it'll probably be a while before I have me another one, but I took some notes here, so I'll definitely try a couple of these when I do engage again.
Well, I drink it just about every day, brother. So I know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, have a sip or two for me. You got anything else on your mind there, Mr. Buck?
It needs to be it's gonna either be DeSantis or Trump when it comes 2024 and 2022. If Republicans don't take the House and the Senate, then they fucked it up themselves. Because there is no reason they shouldn't pull it off. The Democrats have gone way too damn woke, and they have caused way too much turmoil, and there is no reason there shouldn't be a massive red wave. And Biden, he's got to be the worst president in history. I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody that can screw up a teleprompter that bad.
Oh, reading the reading the fucking notes and shit. Oh man,
he is terrible. They told me to say this. I mean, it's just god awful. I was like, really? But I don't understand. I mean, the people at CNN and MSNBC, I mean, now, Jen Psaki has the worst job in the world. That woman can juggle better than anybody in history. She really can. I mean, because how can you take what that man has said and try to make it sound like he was doing something good?
Yeah, she is,
I don't understand it. Man, that ginger, she's got something going for her. I'm half Irish and everything, so that bothers the hell out of me, and I'm just like, shit.
Yeah, yeah, she's definitely.
I don't know.
Yeah, she can.
I don't know, brother. So I'm gonna let you go, brother, and I'm gonna have to get off here, and I gotta get up early in the morning and everything because I gotta run the crew and stuff and everything. So hey, then folk, best of luck with y'all and everything. Whole 9 yards. Hey, Honcho, hit me up. You know my number.
All right.
And everything. We need to talk about a few things.
Okay.
And y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Stay healthy. And fuck that mask.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Shout out to Buck, man. I appreciate the call, sir. You take care of yourself and be safe tomorrow.
10-4. Peace.
Right. Good night. Shout out to Buck. His name's Buck. He likes to fuck. So, ladies, you better stay away because he's a goddamn married man. You should be ashamed of yourself. See, look at y'all. Y'all ladies ain't shit. Trying to get all up on Buck. But shout out to Buck, man. Great call. And I don't remember if I shout out last time to Mr. KT, who was in the chat, who had donated. was looking back over my notes, and I remember he did when I was on a call, so I want to make sure I shouted him out and let him know that I appreciated it. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, Ashley. The way you talk, you seem like, I don't know. If you were a beer drinker, you seem like you probably drink Milwaukee's Beast. You probably drink Milwaukee's Beast. Fucking Black Ashley. I like calling Black Ashley. It's funny now because it helps people understand. Because every time Ashley calls in, people are like, "Why is this white girl allowed to say nigger? Why is no one saying anything about her saying nigger? She's dropping hard ERs and A's." Oh my goodness. Oh, Milwaukee's Beast. Oh no, I'm not gonna go see the new Spider-Man. I saw a commercial today that made me extremely disappointed in Spider-Man. Um, Something I never thought about, like ever. We were in the Saw Sports Discord, watching the game, and Spider-Man ain't shit unless he's in the city. Like Spider-Man is a piece of fuck in the country. Like he's not worth a shit. Like if he's in fucking like Kansas or some fucking flatland somewhere, um, like he's not worth the fuck, right? Like not worth the fuck ever. Oh, there have been some hard ER accusations on you, Black Ashley. Just Susie, how you doing this evening, man? Oh yeah. Ashley probably Ashley is over double fisted natty daddies and Milwaukee's Beast. Um, yeah, he can't do it. Like I mean, I guess he can like wrap you up in some web stuff, but he can't like get away. He's gonna have to take off running, right? He's gonna have to like run away. It broke his website. Oh wow, that's crazy. I don't know. Why don't people like bootleg it like everybody else? Uh, yeah, we kind of started off there, and then we ventured into drinking alcohol and uh, various other things. All right, Buck, you have a good night. There was something I wanted to show you. Man, okay, y'all remember that video? Y'all remember that video that I showed you the other day about the chick who was blaming everything but goofy niggas for the shit that happened to Dolph, and she was just pointing, but she just made so many conflicting statements. So I was thinking about that, right? And just how terrible that conversation was. And it was just, I don't know, man. And that's a problem, like kind of what I was talking about earlier, that we have this issue of not calling it like it is. It's not hard to call it like if it's a Asian person, call it like it is. Mexicans, black folks will call it like it is. White people, we sure as shit gonna call it like it is. But when it comes to ourselves, we pad the gloves, like we soften the blow, right? And we make these excuses. And I think that's a big problem. Like we have to call shit as what it is. Like the lady blamed the whatever lawmaker. I need to look. Matter of fact, I'm right here. Let me Google it. I'm being lazy and kicked all back on the corner of the damn desk. Okay, so maybe there was a law in 2020, 2021. Let's try 2021. Let's see. Okay, so July 2021, they had a new law that allowed for both open and concealed carrying of handguns in Tennessee, right? Says the law applies to most adults 21, older, and military members between 18 and 20 to carry open. Okay. Then permits won't be needed to carry handguns in Tennessee, all that other stuff, right? So, kind of like what we got shaking here in Texas. And she blamed the person who I guess was behind that bill. I'm not sure, backed by Governor Bill Lee. Was that really Tennessee's governor's name? Bill Lee? Bill Lee, that's his name. Okay. Little Governor Billy. And she blamed him. Not the niggas with bad intentions, not the niggas who plot and schemed and staked this man out to kill him, right? Not the envy, the jealousy, or the hatred, or whatever other reasons were behind this. It's somehow the permitless carry bill is the reason Young Dolph got shot. This is like the logic that we will have, the logic that we will put, or not we, that they will put, into this thought process. But again, it makes me crazy. Again, I say it time and time again. Is it perfect? No. But ask anybody who claims America is terrible, it's the most racist place on earth. Okay, well, give me a better option. What country has gotten it right? Like where would you go if happy Hanukkah, I was like happy Akeem Olajuwon. Like what country has gotten it right? What country do you think has the best situation, especially if we're talking about, Black Americans or blacks in America? Exactly. Just like that's the thing. Like, if a nigga got bad intentions, none of the rest of that shit matters, right? None of the rest of that shit matters. Because again, it's not like they going into the gun store and say, "Hey, well, I'd like to get a background check and I'd like to get a gun." Yeah, I thank you. That'd be great. They will go to anybody, anybody. Canada, really? Motherfuckers in Canada talking about they racist and shit. Like I've seen niggas in Canada say all the Canadians are racist, right? The Canadians are racist, eh? And then really, you want to go to Canada? Motherfuckers be getting depressed up there. They be getting like anyway. That's a whole other conversation. We'll get into that. So you feel like Canada is better? Why? Like where did you hear that Canada's a better place? One is way fewer niggas. Uh, Jewish Drake is like the best option you got coming out of that motherfucker, which is whatever you want to think about that. People will give me some flack. Honcho, you're over there hating on Drake again. I'm not hating. I've said nothing that isn't true. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna go do up there? Go up there and hang out with Tory Lanez and a bunch of island folks? So, you're gonna get bit by a fucking moose? And, niggas and snow don't really mix like that. So, I mean, I'm of a tropical nature. So you could probably go to Canada Black actually. So, but anyway, my thing is always like, tell me a better place. And I think that you could say Japan. You could say that, but I don't think they want an influx of niggas coming in. Like I know there's niggas I've seen, because I've watched vlogs about niggas who go to Japan and niggas who go to like the Philippines, some of these Asian countries. And I think if you got a little change, you'll be all right. But the thing about it is, ultimately, you're still going to be viewed like the same way. Oh, my number one fan is here. My good old buddy, Dumb Dave. But yeah, that's the thing. And I'm like, tell me another country where you're going to get treated better, right? Like, tell me a country where they're going to give you more opportunity. And you got to think about what treated better means. So I always say, go where you treated best, right? You have to think about overall opportunity, quality of life, freedom or whatever else you want to call it, rights, and then again, I guess it depends on what you are sport. I mean, if you're a communist person or whatever, you got whatever. Dave, I'm gonna be honest with you, Dave. I'm not gonna talk to you tonight. I've given you 3 opportunities, and what is it again? I told y'all, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Third time, you're like a waste of phone energy. You have nothing to say. It's boring. It's not entertaining. So you can call 20 times again. You have the right to continue calling. I can't stop you from calling, but I'm not going to entertain it. So, anyway, like I said, no, Dave, it's not that. I sat there and listened to you spew nonsense, and all you do is hang up. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Like, if you had something valid to say, if you were interesting, Dave, we could talk all night long. But you just keep repeating yourself. You kind of sound like a parrot, and it's boring. Nobody's entertained by it. Yeah, it's like if you were like a good troll, like I'm all for it. Like that night, what was it, like Nightwave Radio or something, like when they all came in here and they were like trolling and going with the racist jokes and all this shit. That was like one of the funniest fucking nights in the den. Like they tell that one joke, and I wish I could remember that joke. Speaking of that shit, there goes Trio. I wish I could remember that fucking joke. I wish I could remember what stream that was. Because the joke was so racist, but it was like, it was so funny. Like you could not help but laugh at it, right? Like it was like, and I tried, I was on show, like, I was trying to hold my face, trying to be stone faced. Could not help it, though. Like could not help it. And it was just, it was fucking funny. I wish I could remember what stream that was. I have an idea of around the time frame. So I have to go back and I gotta go back and try to find it. But again, you know, like I say, Dre, I've given you multiple opportunities. You're really boring. And that's it. Like, again, if you were like, I don't know, you're just boring, right? So yeah, that's all it is. So you can keep calling. I'm not gonna answer. Maybe another night. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe they let you out your room for a little bit of time every day and you get to use the community phone. And so you're trying your best now. It's fine. You do what you gotta do. But like I said, you got nothing, man. Like I say, you have literally nothing. And you're just boring. Like it really is, it bores the shit out of me. Like again, if you were a good troll, if you had some real discussion, you just say, I guess stuff you read on 4chan. you you called and you shouted out 4chan. That's that's all you need to know right there. You shouted out 4chan. Did you make 4chan? Do you benefit from 4chan in any kind of way? You just shouted out a random unit. I knew you were a 4chan person before you ever said it. You know what I'm saying? Uh, that's what I called it. What? That's a lie, Jeremiah. This is a false accusation against my character. I will not stand for the misleading statement that you just made. I do not eat hot Cheetos. You may have been accurate about the other stuff, but I do not eat hot Cheetos. I might have eaten them one time. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan of hot Cheetos or any of those other hot weird chips, right? If I'm eating some shit, it's gonna be some like, I used to like to fucking hit a line. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I used to be in the fucking den. In the den, I used to be lit. The Kush den. We'll see. I know some folks have said they would like the Kush den days to come back. We'll make it a special event. It's like a weird forum place, bunch of weird memes and other shit. Yeah, it's not a place you'd like to go, Trill. So, you know what I'm saying? That's not your deal. If you don't want to go to Twitter, you don't want to go to 4chan. So there you go. There's that. But Delta Echo Golf, you are a terrible, terrible person. Is that where you come from, Heidi? Did you come from 4chan? But again, like I said, it's just like we have to do better. Let me get back on the topic. As far as black folk, we have to do better holding ourselves just as accountable as we try to hold others. And what happens though is because the black community in America is a matriarchy, because the father figures are few and far between, and people are becoming more and more emotional, right? Not all men are men. anymore. You know, you may have the I got videos. You want to see some videos? I got videos. Mm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if Dave was funny, cool. Like, I have no problem answering. It's just he's boring. He just repeats himself. Like, it's the same thing. Like, I have no concern for him. I don't dislike Dave. I really just don't give a shit about him. But it's like, why waste the airtime listening to him say the same thing over and over and over again? And he's getting like all red faced at home. And he's like stressing himself out. His acne's getting real bad. You know what I'm saying? I think his blood pressure rises up. I don't want to be responsible for that. You know? So there's that. I got videos though, right? But see, me talking about him is way more interesting than his actual calls. And see, what I talk about him, like I said, I tell y'all everything. I guess the reason why I'm talking about it is because I know it's irritating the shit out of Dave wherever he is. And he's like super riled up. Like, if y'all can see how many times he's called since I've been talking about him, I'm just egging the shit on, right? Like I say, his blood pressure's rising up and it's funny as shit to me, right? This is my version of trolling. What was that song? Hello from the Other Side. But I got some videos for y'all real quick. I ain't gonna do you bad, Trill. I got one that's terrible, but I'm not even gonna do you bad. I got one of the worst things I've seen in a long time. Um I got fucking a thing. Dave's a terrible troll. You're not trolling very well at all, Dave. Like, the thing is, like, you're like the least shocking person. You're like the least shocking person to ever come into the den. You've made the least shocking statements ever in the den. There's a small Asian guy in Chicago somewhere who was much more entertaining. You don't know what a debate is. Mm-mm. No, I'll be honest, like, because I was waiting on somebody to have a better call, but since nobody else is calling in, I'm going to go ahead and pull up some things. But Dave did not successfully hijack the show. I just like talking about Dave because he's getting all riled up wherever he is. If Dave could debate, I would. All right. So, in another episode of Will They Have Insurance? Look at this shit, bro. Imagine you owned a store and this is what happens. This is your store. And again, excuse me, burped a little bit. And again, people say, oh, they got insurance. Well, depending on insurance, you may not replace everything. There may be sentimental value. They be, excuse me. There may be, like I said, things that you just can't replace. Maybe things that are no longer in stock. You may have had exclusive items, right? And imagine just one getting shorted by your insurance, depending on what kind of insurance you got. I don't know all the business insurances. Don't ask me. But just knowing something that you worked for, that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in, and just to come in to see it like this, you feel violated. You feel fucked over. And again, what would make you want to reopen this store in this community? Right? But now they're traveling and going all over the place. Yeah, you feel violated, like you would feel like, you're home where you have, depending on where you are, 'cause this was in California. I think this is in California or Minneapolis. Where you wouldn't want to feel like some type of safety, and right, nobody's safe in any home. If somebody wants you bad enough, anybody can get you, right? Anybody can get you. There's so many ways. If somebody really wants you bad enough, you can be caught. Like, so, I mean, you can do a lot of things to be preventative, maybe from people who are a little bit more simple-minded, and you can do certain things to create deterrence. But unless you're going to live in like an underground bunker forever, if somebody wants you bad enough, you can get got. But my thing is, the people who do this are going to be the same people who turn around and talk about, oh, it's racist because we ain't got no banks in our community, or it's racist because nobody's opening stores in our community, even though we just robbed fucking Best Buys, right? Or we just fucking burned down, the local convenience stores or whatever. And we just burned down the Asian chicken joint, right? And then they're going to call it racism, or when people who look like you who've robbed these stores and you go in there, and people are nervous or treating you a particular kind of way, and you're mad, you're claiming they're racist, but maybe they feel a particular kind of way because of the tragedies that have happened. Now, it's unfortunate. I feel bad for this guy. Looks like I don't know if it's a smoke shop, a convenience store, or a knick-knack place, whatever. But again, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you shouldn't walk into something that you put effort into just for people to violate you. Right? You shouldn't go in here and feel like, you don't feel safe in your own environment. But I think we have footage of the person who did it. Check this out.
Man, hold up, man, I'm on a damn mission. I be raising canes like a Kappa eating chicken. The haters wanna play games. Man, hold up, man, I'm on a damn mission. I be raising canes like a Kappa eating chicken. The haters wanna play games.
But bro, this is funnier than it should be. It's really fucked up. But like, what is going on that this is what this guy is thinking about? Like, what's going on that this gentleman, who obviously you're not taking him seriously, is thinking about wanting to rob a store. He doesn't have the right equipment, but it's in his mind, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? They might be Broderick. They do sound the same. Oh man. That is really funny. Well, I wonder what's going on in your mind, Dave. So it's kind of the same thing. Oh shit. Here, this is what's going on in one of our favorite cities in this, our wonderful country.
People want to push people in the train. It ain't gonna happen to me. So I got my own chain, and this is what I do. I wait for the train like this, and till the train don't come, I stay right here. Ain't nobody pushing me. Train comes, put the key, and that's it. And I'm going on the train. Boom. This is what's going on. It's bad out here. People want to push people in the train. It ain't gonna happen to me. So I got my own chain, and this is what I do. I wait for the train like this, and till the train don't come, I stay right here. Ain't nobody pushing me. Train comes, put the key, and that's it. And I'm going on the train. Boom. This is what's going on. It's bad out here.
What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hello, this is Heidi. I love Honcho. Berlin is my favorite place to hang out. As we know, I am a robot. I am also German. I love my October. I like to do the sexy moves where I am the German with my twin boyfriend puts his Wiener Schnitzel in a pretzel and he drinks my beer. It is so fun. Anyway, bye Honcho.
Yes,
Have nice day and go Germany. Don't forget I am Doctor all some shit so highly klein decent no fest. By effects oil.
Well, y'all been waiting on the Heidi call, right? Well, there you go. There goes the Heidi call that you've all been waiting for. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Great call, Heidi. That's the best thing you have ever said in your life in the den. But imagine having to be somewhere where you feel so unsafe, right? This is America. This is why guns are important. The great equalizer, right? Oh goodness. Um, Imagine feeling so unsafe to use public transportation that this is what you must do. You have to fucking buy a bike lock. I don't know what's going on, man. That you have to buy a bike lock to wrap around yourself while you're waiting for the fucking train. What kind of sick individual pushes somebody into a train? You got to be a crazy motherfucker. Now, I don't know how often it's going on wherever she's at, or if it's happened at the actual location where she's at. But to feel like this is an accessory that you must take with you. But again, a bike lock can also double up as a good weapon. You can probably wrap it around your fist and punch the shit out of somebody with it. I guess so. It serves multiple purposes. But it is what it is. That is your accent? Yes, Heidi. You could have left it. Like I say, it's good for the statistic. The Dave just. Oh, that's a good point, though, Heidi. I mean, but you got to think about it. What's more likely to happen, the train or the mass shooting? It's a tough decision. You got to decide. And she's already struggling with that key. I'm gonna be honest. She just kind of needs to keep the key on deck. Do. I got more. I got more vidgets for you. So I got this thing, right? Y'all know how I feel about. All right, I'm just gonna let it happen. I told y'all I don't believe women understand weight and weight limits on certain things. There's a reason they put up to so many pounds on certain things. Just let it rock. Hold on. This one. Imagine. She should have known better. You could tell looking at it. You know that that's a questionable chair just sitting down in it normally, right? And there was no, was there? Oh, I guess there was a dude right there. She sat in that chair before this game of musical chairs began. She knew that, wow, good one, Heidi. She knew better. She knew better than to do what she did. I guess this is where I start talking some shit. I'm trying not to bash, but I can't help myself. Let me see if I can pull up another video. I'm gonna try to go without saying too much negative stuff this evening. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I'll try to keep it light and humorous. We only got about 10 more minutes. Then we'll get in the Discord. Chop it up for a little bit. Yes. No, don't dance in the middle of the streets. That's in Honduras? Did you record this, Kenneth? That's crazy. Shout out to Ken. Ken recorded this. Ken was on the little the little deal. Whoa. So I just saw where the sign says Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Or Alcohólicos Anónimos. Probably put the accented it the wrong way, but like I thought Alcoholics Anonymous was supposed to be anonymous. So it's like if you kind of put that on the building, it's not so anonymous. But that guy should probably walk in there and attend a meeting because otherwise it's gonna be bad for him. They make good cigars. Terrible. Let's see. Yeah, I can read, but I only do it once a week, and I've used my reading card for today. They grab the chair shit is cheating. Yeah, I agree. I agree that grabbing the chair is cheating. I thought that myself. I didn't know the official rules of musical chairs, but yeah. Oh, I got terrible stuff to show y'all, but I got plenty of niggardry for y'all. But I ain't gonna show it all. Okay, I got something right here. Right? Because this is where I want to talk about simps and suckers. And a lot of black men who are simps and suckers for what y'all identify as black women. They're black females more so than anything. So just check this out, right? Y'all niggas love anything light skin. All right, let's rock. I want y'all to tell me who's in the wrong in this situation, right? Now wait. There's more. Okay, just wait. Y'all know. Sometimes when I watch stuff, I don't pay attention to the main thing. Sometimes you just gotta be aware of the background and things that are going on with that. But I hope y'all are paying attention to detail because there's gonna be a pop quiz at the end of the video. For those of you who didn't see the beginning, I'll just allow you to see the initial exchange one more time, and I want to know who is in the wrong. Right. No, she may have been winning. He was obviously drunk. But who was in the wrong in that exchange from what escalated at that point, from what you saw with only the information that we had, because he appeared to be arguing with the chick in absolutely right, 17. 17 got the answer right. It's white people's fault. That's the way the rules work. It is absolutely white people's fault. Only white people and nothing but white people. This is why this is happening. But no, in reality, as she started, she hit it with a bottle. But my thing is, there's certain statements that I've made around here, and people have gotten upset. And when it comes to talking about black women, right? when I come to talk about, do not come. When I talk about black women and representation and talking about, the image that you put out there, why you're treated the way you do. These are some of the most mannish, masculine broads in the game. I'm lying. I think I saw one out of the probably several dozen women that I saw in this image, right? That I saw in this fucking image or this video. There might have been one that you would call a healthy weight, right? And this one wasn't obese, but again, when we talk about, I've used the statement multiple times that 80% of black women are overweight, and then I think 40-50% is like obese or something like that. But you say that, where are the stats? Where are the stats? I didn't see any stats. You make it up. I had a chick argue with me on Twitter about the stats. And I didn't log on to Twitter for a day. She I guess sent something, and then 10 minutes later, you couldn't find them. And so as soon as I saw the message, I sent her the fucking statistics, the CDC statistics, and never heard from her again, right? Never heard from her again, because otherwise, or it's the white man stats. You just, a white man made that and put those stats. You're like, come on, man. All you have to do is look around you, right? Oh, did you ever see the chick? Did you ever see the woman who blamed Donald Trump for black women being overweight? Talk about that. Donald Trump stressed black women out so much that that's the reason they're overeating to compensate for the stress. Right? I'm gonna play this again. I'm gonna cut the sound off because someone hear that bullshit. And then again, drama and attention. Hey, look, people are fighting over there. Let me get my fat ass in the way and shake my whatever parts of the body it is at that point for some attention, because nobody's paying any attention to me. All right, let me do the most outrageous shit I can to get some substanceless form of attention. And then when whatever nigga I go home with tonight fuck on me and leave and never call me again, he's a piece of shit. It is what it is. These fucking orange boots. I don't care what y'all say, the orange boots are hideous. They're terrible. No, I say, I wouldn't doubt this man is probably drunk. Look at his pants. He's, I don't know why he was, but did she reach and grab him and hits him with a bottle? Right? And this is that whole belief that, women can fight me, and then you got three of these motherfuckers. Like, this bitch can't even put the phone down. She fighting. But here comes Super Simp coming to, we got 3 or 4 niggas coming to try to fight the dude. But in reality, if it would have been some one-on-one shit, he drunk or not, they wouldn't no fuck with that dude. They coming to come try to save on some hoes. But look at what I said, right? Like, aside from the fight, it's an easy dub. He's winning. But look in the background, look all around, look everywhere, right? Look everywhere and tell me why or where do you see a fit woman anywhere in this this crowd. There's 20 to 30 women. Look at this motherfucker. I need some attention. You got back dimples. How you get that? You got all this hanging out in the front. Like, come on, bro. No, I agree. Oh, I'm 100% in agreement with you, Voodoo. I think weave is disgusting. And then people have gotten mad at me for whatever. You can't sit, and of all the women that I cannot sit here and listen to complain about, white people doing this, and this. If you got a head full of some type of European style weave, and then you're claiming white people are terrible, I think you kind of got shit backwards, right? You kind of got it all backwards. What's the question? I don't know what the question is. Oh, what you gotta like? What are you talking? Are you talking about volume? Are you talking about amount of time? Like, I mean, like you gotta specify that a little bit more, Heidi. Ashley doesn't know. Ashley's only been fucking with old men. Times per day or week? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think it varies. I think if you're talking about with the right opportunity, shit. You can talk about I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like, what's your age range? And then like I said, I done got fat, so I ain't exact. I got my I didn't dip down a little bit. I was talking about this shit yesterday. I got fat, I'm all out of breath and shit. I'm still giving it my all, but I gotta lose some weight. I'm serious. Like once the weight starts to impact your stroke game, you gotta really start thinking about what you're doing here. But no, younger, huh? I was a young whore. So that's what I'm saying. Like I need to know exactly how many times per day. I mean, you're gonna do it as many times as you have opportunity, right? You get older, you got less opportunity to do all that shit. How many of these women are wearing Jordans? She got on Jordan. This is what I'm saying. Like, black women act like black men. Like she trying to square up to this dude. Like, look goofy as shit. But anyway, how many Vince Wilfork lookalikes wearing wigs are in one place? A natural. I mean, I don't think there's an end game. I don't think there's a limit. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
What's up, Billy McRae? This is your friend Sponge Niggle the Throbbing Bub. Hope you have a wonderful day. I will be down. I'm just down here in Bikini Buttons, and you know me. I be fucking holding their Bikini Buttons. All right, just wanted to call in and tell you I appreciate Ed Honcho.
We gotta ask Sponge nigga. I mean, shit. Like I said, it's just a situation of, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's just 4 or 5 times a day easily. I mean, like I say, if you just got all day, you ain't got nothing else going on. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's like I need like a time frame. I need there's like details. Like say younger me, there's been some very eventful evenings, right? But I mean, you take some power naps in between time. I mean, well, back then, say I'd roll up something. When I was your age, when I was a young buck like you, Heidi, I mean, it was nonstop because I was in shape. So, let me stop lying. I got a story that I may have told, maybe I may not have told. And so Nah, you could probably get 4 or 5 is low balling. Yeah. I mean, it just matters. It doesn't matter. You could Patty versus Brandon this week. Den debates. We were supposed to have a den debate, but I think it got settled in the Discord, and so we're just gonna leave it there. Yeah. So yeah, it's just that. But again, all I'm saying is this, right? When I talk about certain issues with no 5, you can go more than 5. I say it can you could definitely go more than 5. I don't know. I mean, if you're just talking about nonstop goes and keep going to keep going. But anyway, like I said, like that's what I'm saying. Like, and then when I talk about that, but when you try to have like a real conversation, especially with Black women, you say, okay, well, here's the thing that's going on in our community. Like, the majority of our women are overweight. Again, it's the BMI is a white man's standard. We got denser bones, or we got this like whatever. You can come up with whatever excuse you want to, right? You can talk about whatever you want to, but I guarantee you cannot tell me. And we're just talking about how you feel, not about appearance. I know a bunch of bitches who were super skinny and said, they wanted to get thick, so they got fat and didn't play out the way they wanted to. But you cannot tell me, you've never shown me a person, I've never seen a person, and this is me included, who's ever said that they felt better being heavier than they did being slimmer, right? It's a significant difference in 215 and 280. I'm talking about myself. There's a significant difference in 120 to 160. I don't know what the fuck women's weights are, but it's like you could never, ever, ever prove to me that somebody feels better being heavier, being less mobile, wheezing up the stairs, all of those things. 9/11. Yeah, and then there's a point where, like I say, you can't tell me if that chick who just came on there wobbling, whatever she was calling twerking, lost 100 pounds, that she wouldn't feel significantly better than whatever it is. Well, I thought you were Asian, Dave. Now, Dave, you're a liar. That's terrible. You got to figure it out. But see, here's the thing. Oh, we got a text message for Dave. I don't know. Dave's not a good villain. Like I said, all right, we're going to do a quick poll before we leave. For those of you who know, let's go. Who is the better bad guy? Who was the better villain? We'll call it villain. Like I said, I just don't think Dave's a villain. It'll be 0 for Dave and 1 for Chicago Mike. Who do y'all think was the better, who actually had more of an impact on the den? He doesn't even have to be normal. Come on, because we got some callers that call into the den that are not the most normal individuals, but they're entertaining. But my Trills, you voted for Trill. Trill is a terrible villain. Because we have people calling the den who wouldn't say normal, right? Or have the most normal conversations, but they're entertaining, right? Dave, you hung up and ran like a woman, right? You did it 3 times. You hung up your phone and ran away like a woman 3 times. I gave you the opportunity to speak your piece. And again, you ran away. And so again, I was foolish to do it a second and third time to entertain you, right? But So I wouldn't do it again fourth. It's like I say, you have nothing to say. You've played your best hand, and it was not interesting. I don't even understand what you're right. Like you're like ESL. I think I think Dave is white like Maria White. That's kind of white Dave is. Love but she spelled better. She was a much better speller of words. I like talking about Dave. Like I said, Dave wants to call in so bad. He's been calling. And like I said, it's very it's very amusing to me, right? That's why I find it funny. Because in reality, I don't give a shit. Yeah, that's where Dave's at, right? Because you got to think about this. Here's my deal. I've told y'all 1,000 times. Like, if I was white, I wouldn't give a shit about black issues. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm black. I barely give a fuck about black issues. I just like pointing stuff out because I think here's like black folks who may be in that kind of, who are willing to entertain conversation and listen, would listen to somebody like me saying something versus somebody like, I don't know, somebody in the suit and tie, whatever, the dude on Fox News. I can't think of his name. Or, I think just I have an avenue that, so when you can point certain things out and make them come to those realizations, or people who may be more relatable, like say I once thought a certain way and then I learned. And then, so again, Dave's letting you know that he's poor white trash. Dave is informing us of his class status in America. It's very sad. But like if I was white and didn't give a shit about black issues, there's no way I wouldn't even be on like Black Channel. I wouldn't like even entertain. I wouldn't even watch Channel with the black guys. I wouldn't even watch basketball. Like these niggers and their dribbling disgust me. They'll never be John Stockton. You'll never be Larry Bird. Like it's like there's no fucking way. Like I wouldn't care. But no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dave, on the other hand,
His sister in the chin. That's for you, Dave.
Shout out to Dan. Now, that's fucking funny as shit. Oh my good. I've never heard that. That's hilarious. Oh, but like I say, it's just to fill up some space. Dan makes me laugh. Well, Dan made me laugh, but Dave is the joke. All right, Ken. Yeah, shit. I got to start getting ready because I think I started on I got class on the 18th. But I'm glad that we could do charity for Dave because nobody else listens to Dave. That's why he comes here. He's like, yeah, give me some attention over there. So like to me, this is like my good deed. Christmas is coming up, and Christmas is coming up, and so usually we donate to a family in need or something, but this is my way of doing it, right? But again, it is what it is. Shout out to Ken though. Ken, sir, I'm very proud of you and the way you are growing as a young man and advancing and doing the right thing. So salute to you. You got the right mentality. Stop fucking with them hoes, though. I know you pulled over there off Bissonnette. I seen you. Don't do it again. I ain't gonna tell nobody else. But those of you Den folk, I do love and appreciate all of you guys. What we're gonna do? Let me put the link in there again so we can slide in the Discord. Y'all want to chop it up in the Discord after this? We can have a little after party conversation. I'm not gonna stay up too late. Take my ass to bed. And then, make sure I got the right link. Is this the same one? That's not. Put this in here, copy. And again, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., maybe 10 p.m. I'm shooting for 9. I'm gonna start getting myself. I got a schedule to keep. I just had to spend some time with the old lady today, so I pushed it back just a little bit. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I thank you all. Let's save it. Alice. But well, yeah, it is tomorrow. It is. I forgot that when I go at 10, it becomes midnight. But I appreciate y'all. Here's the link to the Discord. Y'all want to slide in there. Thank all of y'all. And you know. Yes, listen to Gary. Don't make the same mistakes Gary made. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all for being here. You know what I mean? You could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here tonight. And you know, it is my honor, it is my privilege, but more than anything, it is my pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I've been having fun, a lot of fun the last few days. I almost did a Sunday night confession tonight, but I didn't think anybody was going to confess. So we'll just call it a wrap. So again, it is what it is. Hey, this is me getting outraged at Dave. There, I gave you what you wanted, Dave. Super weak. Imagine thinking that shit really works in real life. What a fucking loser. But I'm gone. So yeah, I forgot the credits for the stream maps thing. So I gotta figure out how to have to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? I figure out how to change that. But appreciate everybody who super chatted tonight. Everybody who's been supporting the channel for all these years. And everybody who just showed up tonight. Again, shout out to Buck. And I don't know, Heidi. I think Broderick's starting to surpass you in the joke department. But those are just my thoughts. Until tomorrow.